Hello, we are back with some more Berwick Saga. In this one we're going to be finishing up the last side quest in Chapter 2. There are a few preparations that I need to go through to begin with though, and the first of those is a consequence of the fact that I used Faye to capture the guy back in Chapter 2's main mission. When she did that, she got a bag with a bunch of vulneraries inside it, and I want to distribute those vulneraries to the units that I'm actually going to be deploying in this and subsequent maps. Luckily, we can trade them off her, because they belong to us, not to her. I'm not quite sure how that works, given that she got them on her own when she wasn't affiliated with our army, but I guess that's just a nice gameplay mechanic to make sure that we don't lose any droppable items. The other big thing that I need to do for this chapter is get a large number of horses, because I need as many mounted units as I can get my hands on in order to turn for this map. Unfortunately, I am not going to be able to get enough horses to fill up my deployment slots. It would be possible to do so if I hadn't had so many of my horses die, because there are exactly 7 mounted units available for this chapter, and 1 remaining deployment slot is reserved for an infantry unit who has an important use, but I will come to that. Obviously, I still want to hit the minimum possible turn count here, and in order to do so, I'm going to be making use of a feature that I haven't touched so far, and that is the ability to make units inactive, meaning that they will never be deployed. I believe this is the only way to deploy fewer units than the maximum deployment in this game. So it's lucky that it's here, otherwise I would have been forced to take a turn loss. I'm going to inactivate almost all of my infantry units, in addition to the cavalry units who are not lucky enough to have horses. But there is one infantry unit who I need to keep on my team, and that is Axel, because as is becoming a pattern, he has a useful property that is required in order to turn floor this map, which is, of course, his swimmer skill, which allows him to cross the water easily. On this map, there is a new type of obstacle, and that is a drawbridge. In this game, there aren't keys for unlocking drawbridges. Instead, you just have to reach a specific building that then allows you to activate it. And in this map, that building is on the opposite side of the drawbridge from where our units deploy. Because of this, it is actually completely worth it to put up with Axel's 4 movement, because even if our entire cavalry troop moved their full movement around the long way, they would take longer to get there than Axel does. Obviously, going this way means that we're going to be missing out on a lot of combat and potential experience, including some droppable items, but that's just LTC. One thing that we do have time for is getting Ruby as much combat as possible, because every time she makes an attack or gets hit by an attack, she has the potential to gain equipment experience towards her promotion requirements. To that end, we're going to be pulling over one of the enemies near the escape point so that she has someone to attack on turn 2. Now, you may notice an enemy from the left-hand side of this map moving across toward us. This is Derek, and he's actually a potential playable unit. In this map, he doesn't attack us at all, but instead runs towards where we started in an attempt to escape from the map. And as long as he survives the map, we'll be able to hire him as a mercenary starting after the main mission of Chapter 3. My remaining considerations for this map are twofold. Firstly, I need to make sure that Axel's movement is not blocked by the 2 enemies who start near the escape point. Axel reaches the escape point in exactly 4 turns, with 0 wiggle room, so him losing even 1 tile of movement is a reset. The second thing I want to do is kill the transporter that starts near the escape point, because he drops a repair stone, which is going to be useful, although I don't have any specific use for it yet. Because I can, I'm going to be weakening the transporter and feeding the kill into Ruby. This guarantees that she gets some experience points on a map where there's otherwise very little combat for her. Her accuracy isn't the best, but as far as I can tell, that's just Ruby being Ruby. And because this map is so short, I'm happy to reset until it happens. In this turn, I want to use my mounted units to create basically a corridor for Axel to go through so that he is not going to die. Unfortunately, Arthur doesn't quite manage to kill the enemy that he attacks despite his desperation bonuses, so there's still a chance of failure there, but it works out in the end. Now, it would have been really nice if I had been able to feed this very weakened enemy into Ruby for some more experience, because these guys actually give quite a lot. However, despite the fact that I moved Arthur out, this guy decided to go for Axel instead of Ruby, which is a bit annoying because I would have thought Ruby would be the better target. But, you know, with all of the low accuracy things happening in this chapter, there's really no reason for me to reset and try and feed that into Ruby, because it would probably just be impossible, and she'd almost certainly miss. Anyway, that's basically the chapter, because there are now no enemies who still have turns nearby the escape point, and all of my units are within range. So all I have to do is have them all escape, and we say goodbye to this chapter in 4 turns. I'll see you next time.